So the economy could be at a tipping point. For the first time since the pandemic, there are more people looking for work than there are jobs available for them. The new data comes after President Trump fired the country's labor stats chief over weak job numbers. NewsNation's Alicia Nieves is live on Wall Street for us this morning. Alicia, how concerned should we be about the state of the job market right now?
Hey, good morning, Markie. We don't want to be an alarmist of any kind, but I think we have been covering economic data for the last couple of months. There have been some positive signs, and now we're starting to see a tipping point, at the very least, a shift happening in this data. And it's important to kind of get a full understanding, kind of a clearer picture. We're actually going to get that this week from the labor market, and we already started to get some of it. Yesterday, we got the JOLTS report. Today, we're going to get some jobless claims numbers. And then later on, tomorrow, we're going to get the big, important jobs report. So far from the JOLTS report, we're seeing further signs of the labor market that is cooling down. For the first time since 2021, there are actually more people looking for jobs than there are actual vacancies. The JOLTS report showing that the jobs opening was vacancies was 7.18 million vacancies for July. The last employment report showed 7.2 million people are out of work. Now, this report also showed and highlighted that there was an uptick in layoffs. The pace of hiring, that is slowing down, indicating that hiring managers, they're not rushing to fill those vacancies. A few people, are job hopping, choosing instead to stay put amid the kind of uncertainty with the labor markets. A lot of companies just want to see how Trump's policies on trade and immigration, how those are panning out. What is really interesting, though, with the data, while it is starting to cause concern for some economists, even some in the White House, you've got and the Fed as well, Wall Street is actually optimistic about this. So let me break this down, because bad labor news is actually good news for those who want a rate cut, since rate cuts are a tool that Fed typically uses to heat up a cooling down labor market and get us back to the 4%. We're closer to 4.2 right now. But particularly with this data, JOLTS is showing that with more people being unemployed than there are job openings, that's actually going to help curb inflation, because inflation ticked up in 2021 because you had so many more people able to bounce around, get higher wages, and could afford the inflationary pressures. So in terms of probability for a rate cut, because we focus on that a lot, it affects a lot of people's mortgages, ability to borrow, if you're in the market for a new car or even credit cards, that has actually ticked up since the JOLTS report dropped to about 95% probability from 92% probability. When we get the jobs claims out later on today, that could reinforce and increase probabilities. And certainly tomorrow, depending on what we get from the overall jobs report, we can see chances potentially, if we get a rough jobs report, increase to about a 0.5% rate cut. Right now, we're baking in about 0.25%, Markie.
We'll see what the Fed decides later on this month as it pertains to rates. Alicia Nieves, live on Wall Street. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.